Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. On today's video, we'll be taking a look at the somewhat awesome BOYA by-PM500W, a combination mic which is both wired yet wireless at the same time. How do they do it? Let's find out. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at BOYA's by-PM500W. This is a wired and yet a wireless microphone all in one. It's a desktop style microphone which uses a cardioid style pattern pickup or omnidirectional, depending on your choice, and is using a condenser style microphone. It looks and feels pretty much like your typical kind of microphones that you'd use on a desktop, such as your Yetis and obviously other BOYA mics, such as the BOYA by-PM500, which we reviewed ages ago, which you can check out from the information cards or the links in the video description below. This is its kind of little baby brother, but it does bring with it some extra cool features. Again, being wireless is one of the main things. Essentially, you can use it just like this if you really wanted to. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go through the video. We'll do a quick unboxing, show you what we actually get. We'll do some practical sound tests of both wired and wireless technology, and then you can make up your own mind whether or not this is going to be the next microphone for you. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look and see what we actually get in the packaging. So you get a instruction guide, which actually is pretty useful. The first couple of times you use this microphone, there's going to be a few things you're not going to be entirely sure of, so I would definitely suggest having a quick scan through, and it does show you very clearly what all the buttons do. It's relatively straightforward, but until you actually read the manual and work out where things are, it can be a little bit daunting. But anyway, the manual's there should you need it. You get a warranty card, you also get a certificate of authenticity, you get the BOYA stickers, which you can stick on somewhere. In fact, actually, let's do one of those right now. You also get a couple of USB cables, so you get a USB Type A to Type C connection. So this is for connecting the microphone in a wired connection, so you can connect it to either your Windows PC, Macintosh, Linux, etc, etc. Effectively, as long as your device supports audio over USB, then you're good to go. So newer Macs that use USB Type C, absolutely fine, no problem at all. You do also get a USB to USB Type C connection, so that is USB Type C on both ends, and also they do include a USB Type A to Type C adapter. This is going to be predominantly for the actual sound receiver itself, so this is BOYA's receiver. This is a tiny little stick actually, but it does a lot. So you've got two buttons on the front there, which gives you volume up and down. That is for monitoring your levels. You've also got a mono stroke stereo switch, which is a little bit misleading, to be honest with you. If you put it into the mono switch, it will give you dual mono from the microphone into your device. If you put it to stereo, you can actually use two of these microphones at the same time. If you're doing some kind of podcast and there's two of you at opposite ends of a desk, that kind of thing, then you can use it to do that. If you put it into stereo and you're using one mic, then you only get a single channel come through. If you're using it in mono mode and you're using a single mic, you get two channels of audio, albeit they're both the same. It isn't a stereo signal, it's dual mono, but that is what most people are probably going to use this for. Preparing the device, because it does use a wireless technology, you can press and hold the two buttons on the side there, along with the button on the bottom of the microphone to repair the connection should anything go wrong in that particular way. There's also a 3.5mm jack here, so this is for audio monitoring. So you plug this into your PC, either via USB Type C or using the adapter, plug it into a Type A port, and then you can plug in a set of headphones into the 3.5mm jack. And then you can actually hear both yourself through like a sideband, and also you can hear what is being played on your PC. So if you're actually playing a game and you want to monitor the audio, you can hear the game audio through that jack, and also you can hear yourself through the sideband. So that's very useful, especially for streamers, podcasters, all that kind of stuff. If you're doing some sort of interview setup on Skype or those types of devices, then that's going to be absolutely perfect. Other than that, that is pretty much it for the receiver, very compact. Let's take a look at the microphone itself. And first of all, we'll take a quick look on the specs on the box, just so we don't miss anything. So USB Type A or Type C connection. We've also got the options for various different devices, so mobile, PC, etc. Like I said, Android, iOS, PC, Macintosh, Linux, etc. As long as it supports USB audio over Type A or Type C, then you're pretty much good to go, at least in terms of wired and wireless connectivity. On the side of the box, it gives you some options of kind of demonstrations of how it can be used. So there we got it plugged in directly on a USB Type C port into an Android device. and at the top there we've got it plugged in on a Type A into a laptop. So again, very flexible. You can plug it into pretty much most things. So let's take a look at the actual microphone itself. And as you can see, this is obviously wireless as it stands, so this is how you can actually use it. Bizarrely, there is a battery in here, so a rechargeable battery. It's an 800 milliamp hour battery, which fully charged takes about an hour and a half to charge from completely flat, and that will give you approximately 8 hours of usage time, which is absolutely fine, I think, for most people. For the intended use case scenario, streamers, content creators, that sort of thing, I think that's going to be absolutely fine. Most videos, if you're recording a video, if you're sat at a desk doing a voiceover, if you're taking more than an hour, then you're probably doing something very wrong. For game streaming, etc., absolutely fine. For people that are using this as a daily use microphone, then the wireless part of it, you'd probably want to stick a wire into it and then have the flexibility of using it wirelessly later. I think that is how this would work best, but again, down to the individual. The construction itself, so the stand, all metal construction. The microphone itself is plastic on the outside edges there. Got a nice top section there. A couple of buttons on the front to control things, and on the bottom you've got some more buttons for connectivity options, that kind of stuff. The stand actually has got a nice foam base to it as well to keep it nice and steady on a desktop. And of course, if you want to, you can remove it from the stand and attach it to a thread, so on a mic boom stand, that kind of thing. You've also got another headset jack there. So that headset jack there is for monitoring what is coming through the microphone only. And you can adjust the volume of that using the dial on the front. So adjust the dial, it adjusts the volume actually in the headphones. That works really well, so you can tell if you're kind of peaking, popping, all those kinds of things, whether or not you need to be further back from the mic, whether you're too close, all those kind of things, which is actually really useful to do, especially in a live environment. Going back to the bits on the bottom, so you've got USB Type-C, so that is going to be both for charging and also for using it as a wired device directly into a PC, laptop, etc, etc. Got a little button on the bottom, so that is your power button, so you press and hold it and it will turn the device on, gives you your battery readout, so 4 LEDs on there, okay, 100%, 75%, 50%, etc, etc. When you do that as well, the microphone turns on, so it goes back to the previous settings. So if you've had this in cardioid mode, it will remember it's in cardioid mode. If you've had it omnidirectional, then it'll go into omnidirectional, and it'll also remember things like your gain settings as well, which I think is very important, especially if you've just dialed in your settings to exactly how you want them, then it will remember them. So that's a really cool little feature. If you press and hold the button when the microphone is in the USB mode, just press that button briefly, then the light will come on, it will turn solid blue to say that it's fully connected. If your wireless connection is actually in the PC, that will turn solid blue as well. Press the button in the middle and it will go red, briefly flash then because it's not connected, but normally it would stay red to say that it's muted. Press and hold the button for a couple of seconds when it's either connected via wire or wirelessly, and it will go into gain control mode, which lights up purple. Then you can just use the dial on the front to adjust your gain levels. I found with this already, using it today, your best bet really, again, everyone's use case is going to be slightly different. For me personally, press and hold it, whack the gain up to 100%, and then control the rest of it actually from your OBS or your streaming and capture software, whatever it might be. That for me works out really well. The gain's actually pretty good on here. At the lowest settings, it's very, very quiet, but at the high gain settings, I think it's just about right and actually mixes my audio quite nicely. I shouldn't have to do much modification for this video. I'm using a BOYA lav mic at the moment, straight into my Lumix camera, and hopefully between the two, I think I've got the levels pretty much bang on, so I shouldn't need to do too much adjustment post-production. Anyway, so yeah, cardioid or omnidirectional on there, like we said. Press and hold the button to go through the features, press it once to mute it. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's relatively intuitive. Obviously, it's going to take a little while to get used to it for some people, but yeah, pretty straightforward. And yeah, a nice little unit. Nice weight to it as well, so it's actually going to stay firmly planted on your desk. Got no issues there, and obviously on the side you've got adjustments, so you can turn those around and adjust it to however you want to. That's going to be absolutely no problem at all. So before we go into the sound test, we should talk about the frequency response. Now there is slight variations between wired and wireless modes. So in the wired mode, you're looking at 24-bit audio, which is 48 Hz, and also response range between 20 Hz and 20 kHz. When you're using it actually in wireless mode, then you do get slight reductions, so 16-bit audio, 48 Hz, but the response rates or frequency response, you're looking at 35 Hz, so a little bit brighter sounding, and in the top end we head out at 18 kHz. So we go from 20 to 20 to 35 to 18. So yeah, there is a slight cutoff there. For a lot of people, it's going to make no difference whatsoever to whatever you're recording, but we'll hear what the differences are like next. So we're going to do some sound tests now. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start off with the demonstration. This is currently in wireless mode, as you can see. Now I will be switching between my lav mic, which I'm using, my BOYA by-PM500W, and also between this mic. So you'll probably see on the screen it flash up to say which mic is in use, so you can get an idea of which sounds better. Clearly, a lav mic is going to have some benefits over a desktop mic in terms of reverberation, because it's muffled by my t-shirt, etc., and also pop shield. So do take that into consideration. Lav mics generally for me in this particular room do sound better, but obviously the freedom and flexibility of this microphone is going to, well, basically leave you untethered. That means you don't have to have a microphone tucked in your shirt all day long, which is awesome. So currently we've got the microphone set up as you would normally. So gain is on full, as I said before, and I am somewhere between, I would say, probably 6 to 8 inches away from the microphone, talking directly into it. This is currently in the cardioid pattern, so let's press the button on the front and we'll change it to omnidirectional so you can hear what the difference in sound quality is like. So now I'm talking to the mic, and this is again the same sort of thing. I'm still 6 to 8 inches away. This is now in omnidirectional mode, so you're probably finding the sound stage a little bit wider, but also probably there's more reverb to it. It's less focused on my actual voice. Now this is going to be perfect if you're in a room and there's other people talking. Say for instance 2 people either side of a table and you're doing some sort of podcast, and this is going to be perfect because it's going to pick up people from both sides, and also other things which you don't always pick up on. So if you're using a mic and someone's laughing at a response, that kind of thing, it's going to pick up that subtle thing in the background, which adds a little bit to the ambience of audio. Maybe yeah, anyway, let's move on from there. So that is in the omnidirectional mode. Let's go back to cardioid mode. So that is now cardioid mode. This is, again, 6 to 8 inches away. If I get much further away, it should change a little bit. You can, if you want to, get up quite close to this, but you do have to be very careful with your plosives. It does really need a pop shield, and yeah, hopefully it's not peaking too badly. Anyway, that is that. So that is with it in the wireless mode. Hopefully the audio's been awesome. Let's go ahead now and plug it in wired and see what the difference is actually like. Luckily, I have Kath, my producer, sat just there, so she said you didn't do a test to see what the rejection is like. So let's go ahead and do the rejection tests. So this is the microphone. I'll do it face on. So we're currently in cardioid mode, so this should reject anything other than what is directly in front of it. So this is in front of the mic, this is the side of the mic, this is the rear of the mic, and this is the other side of the mic. And now we'll try the same again in the omnidirectional mode. So now we're in omnidirectional mode. This is my voice at the front of the mic, this is my voice at the side of the mic, this is my voice at the rear of the mic, and this is my voice at the other side of the mic. So there we go, there are the noise rejection patterns. And we'll go back into omnidirection. No, we'll go into cardioid pattern, because that is obviously going to be better for this kind of setup. I really like the fact that this is wireless. Actually, this is the second time I've done this video. The first time I forgot to plug in my lav mic into the camera, which is, yeah, never a great thing. But actually, the second time round of doing this, I'm actually enjoying it. And the more I use this mic, the more I realise how convenient it is to actually have it wireless. Because if I'm doing a live stream or something, like if I need to do something to a motherboard or whatever, I can literally just pick it up. You can still probably hear me if I raise my voice slightly, and it's probably picking it up okay anyway. But I can use this space in the desk, and I don't have to have the microphone right up in front of me all cluttered up. And there's no wires, it's not tethered in place anywhere. Like if you have booms and that kind of thing, you've got to push the booms up. Anyway, I'm going on way too much now. Let's get this thing on the wired connection and see what it's like. Okay, so now we're going to try it with the microphone connected via the wired connection. So this is a USB Type-C currently going into Type-A. I've got an extension here which is running through to the PC, which is going to be quite often the case if you do have a microphone which is wired. That is the biggest problem with them. They are wired, and it is a pain in the backside to actually get the wires somewhere where they look neat. If you're doing this as a sort of podcast type scenario, then yeah, having the wires on the desk, you can see here they're obviously contrasting quite badly. If I had a white USB cable, it would be absolutely fine. You wouldn't notice it at all. But it is just something else to worry about, and also disconnecting it, that kind of stuff can be an issue. Before we get into the sound test and do the polar pattern pickups on wired, we should talk about the actual price. Now, first of all, I would say BOYA have sent me this mic free of charge for review purposes. They haven't asked me to say anything. As always, they never ask me to say anything at all. All they asked me to do is to put a link in the video description, which hopefully you guys will check out because that helps the channel go. But they've not said to say anything at all. So it's absolutely fine. I can be completely open and honest and say exactly what I like about it. And I will say, first of all, I didn't want to review this. I really didn't, because I didn't see the point. It didn't make any sense to me. Why would you want a wireless desktop mic? But actually, after using it, I can now see the benefits of it. And I think that's going to be the same for a lot of people. A lot of people will see the video title and say, well, why would you want a wireless desk mic? That just makes no sense at all. But weirdly, it does. This mic is the microphone that you don't actually know that you need until you see it and use it. Anyway, I'm digressing. So we'll do the polar patterns now. So this is currently set up. We've now got it on the cardioid pattern. So let's do the sound rejection test. So this is my voice with the microphone in front of me. This is the microphone on the side of me. This is the microphone on the back, or me talking to the back rather. And this is me talking to the side of the microphone. So that has been in the cardioid pattern. Let's now go ahead and change that. So we'll press the button and that's now changed into the omnidirectional. So this is the front of the mic. This is the side of the mic. This is the rear of the mic. And this is the other side of the mic. Now you're probably going to notice that the microphone will pick up noise through the actual stand itself. That is an inherent part of most microphones, especially if they're desk mounted. Clearly, if you're using this with a boom of some sort, then that is going to be eliminated somewhat, and obviously just ideally you don't want to touch a microphone at all. If I touch my lav mic, you're probably getting exactly the same thing. So microphones, just the way they work, is going to happen. So yeah, this is a tough one. It really is. It adds so many features. If you're after just a simple microphone to do voiceovers, I'm not entirely sure this is the microphone for you. Which, BOYA probably won't like me saying that. But what they will like me saying is there's so many other options on the market from BOYA for doing this type of thing. So if you are like me, you've got maybe an unboxing channel or you're doing this type of thing to camera all the time, then this possibly isn't right for you. I would probably look at one of the BOYA lav mics or maybe one of the wireless BOYA lav mics. Those are actually brilliant. If you want that wireless freedom, absolutely great. And the battery life is still excellent and all that kind of stuff, and the sound quality is excellent, all those kinds of things. This, I think, is one of those microphones which ticks a lot of boxes for different things. So if you're not entirely sure what you're going to be doing, or where you're going to be doing it, or how you're going to be doing it, this takes away the guesswork, because obviously if you want to do a kind of intimate style podcast, that sort of thing, absolutely fine. You can do this, no problems at all. Do it on the wired connection to get the best possible sound quality. If you're doing a stream and you don't want clutter and you want a really nice, clean, slick look, unplug the cable, put the mic on the desk. It looks great. It really does. I really like the look of it, actually. It does look very, very cool. Yeah, so many options. Okay, if you want to, for an even cleaner look, put it onto a boom, have it slightly out of shot. You still got that wireless thing, so you don't have to worry about wires, all that type of stuff that plagues us all. I hate wires. I generally hate wires. I don't like them. So to go wireless where possible, I think makes a lot of sense. Price wise, this is the stumbling block, I think, for this one. I've seen it for various different prices. Again, I'll mention UK prices. They do seem to be a bit higher in the UK than I've seen elsewhere. At the moment, I've seen this anywhere between £100 and £142 on Amazon.co.uk. The links will be in the video description, so you can check it out for yourself. For the flexibility, I think it's definitely money well spent. If you want something which is going to give you the same kind of tonal qualities, but you don't necessarily need the wireless side of it, then maybe the PM500, which is the non-W version. The W is basically the wireless add-on for this. Or maybe if you want to spend a little bit more and you want a little bit better sound quality or more options for stereo pickup, that kind of stuff, then maybe BOYA's PM700, which is definitely worth looking at also. But again, if you want the flexibility and you don't know what you're going to be doing, or you just like the fact of having a wireless mic like this, it just looks cool, and to have it wired I think is a very unusual thing. Yeah, definitely gets a thumbs up from me. But what I think isn't important, what you guys think is, so please let us know what you think about this one in the comments section below. Did you notice the cutoff points between the wired and the wireless modes? Was it a massive difference, or would you have to now go back to where I switched over between the two? There will be chapters in the video below, so take a look, see if you notice the difference. Was it a massive difference, or do you have to really kind of analyse it to notice the difference? I don't think there's going to be a great deal of difference, to be completely honest with you. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments section below. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.